I love the hustle, man.
Just recently, Mike Brown did just sign a new contract for the Kings. They finally were able to get that done. Can you tell me the numbers on that contract one more time, please? Do you have
I think it was for $10 million a year.
How many years?
I don't know the years on that joint. I know it was for 10 though. 10 million.
Let me look that up real quick.
Let's see. And I know more of it's. Let me see.
Mike Brown contract.
So, the average is 10 million. I don't know how many years he signed for an additional though.
All right, so it was an extension. I believe he had one more year, which is going to be the this coming season, and so he just got an extension. So he was seeking 10 mil annually.
Annually, right?
So he was going to make 4.5 next year. So it looks like the deal carries a base salary of 8.5 million with bonuses.
26-27 season
with bonuses that could reach 10 mil a year.
10 million, right?
So it's a 3-year deal. So what do you think that means for the Kings, man? Do you feel like we're going to see? Well, let's just talk about this. We didn't make the playoffs. And I've been wanting. I know for a while I've been wanting to get on this channel and talk about that. I'm like, man, let's get on. But we've had trouble. I had the doctor's appointments, and you had stuff. So we had a lot of stuff going on. But I did want to talk about that before the season was over. We did not make the playoffs. I don't know. Sure. I don't know if y'all remember, but we made a video early in the year, and I said, the Kings might not even make the playoffs. And y'all, I mean, you and Dope was like, what? I'm like, man, because we were going through all the teams in the West, and I was looking, I was like, y'all, I'm like, Kings might not even make the playoffs. Remember I said that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to bring in that clip and put it right here. I'm gonna try to edit it right here. I'm looking at Memphis. I'm looking at Minnesota, and I'm looking at a couple teams that could possibly get in. Is maybe like a OKC and then like a Pelicans. I like OKC. I like the Pelicans. I just feel like Dallas is coming. I just don't see Kyrie and Luka just not making the playoffs. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's gonna be tough for the Kings to make this playoffs, bro. And I didn't want to say that. It's gonna be tough. I know we were third last year, but the Lakers were down and hurt. Dallas was in a mess. They were, you know what I'm saying? They were trying to figure things out.
And they're still trying to figure it out.
Minnesota, you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be tough for these Kings to make the playoffs.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a great season for the West.
But what I'm saying is they might fall out though. You know what I'm saying? They might fall out. Yes. I'm gonna put that clip right here.
The cold part about it is though, man, like to kind of say, all right, well, you know what? I felt like where you didn't see the vision at is, yes, they brought back the whole original team, I would say. I don't think they made any difference, you know, as far as roster-wise goes. Mm-hmm. But what actually played them out of a playoffs to play into the playing game is once Monk got hurt. And we all know that. Monk was a big contributing factor for them.
I don't know. But the only reason...
The Kings, they started slipping.
But I wouldn't say that's the only thing, because there was games that Monk was in that they were losing. Kings lost a whole bunch of games that they lost that they should have won. And I could think of about at least 10 of them that they lost that they should have won. That would have put them over 50 games. And I'm not saying that, okay, even if out of the 10 games that I'm thinking about, even if they won 6 of them, you're probably in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I want to say they missed it by like, you know, or whatever, but at least, you know, and then like just the play-in game was a bad matchup because the Pelicans had our number all season. So
all year long, definitely.
But how much of that falls on Mike Brown and giving him this new contract? Are you confident in him moving forward, being able to figure this out and getting the Kings back into the playoffs? Remember, we finished third in the West 2 seasons ago. So 2 seasons ago,
right? Definitely.
I mean, what's the expectation now with Mike Brown signing this contract? I mean, I would think playoffs and having success in the playoffs. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, you know, the ownership, the front office, they look at him as being their guy with Mike Brown. You know, at this point, I don't really see any other options that were out there that were better for this team outside of Mike Brown.
Well, you had to sign him. You had to sign him.
And that's why I felt like they needed to go ahead and sign him, because I felt like this was the best possible option they had to go ahead and try to still succeed, make the playoffs, and possibly make a deeper run into the playoffs. I do feel like going forward, though, they're going to have to figure out this roster.
We'll talk about that next. We're going to talk about that next.
Yeah, they're going to have to react. So I'm not going to go too much into it, but they definitely have the roster they're going to go ahead and go with into next season. But I do feel like Mike Brown, this is your opportunity. They're allowing you to go ahead and still continue to coach. They, can't see something in you. Now it's on you to go ahead and produce with your coaching staff on what needs to go ahead and happen going forward and how to make this team better and make them someone to fear in the Western Conference. Because if you see, the Western Conference is a very, very stacked conference.
Yeah.
So Mike is going to have to go ahead and continue to keep up with the rest of the competitions going on within that conference.
Now,
and if he doesn't, who knows?
Now we did lose Jordy Fernandez, who was our assistant on the Kings, and he was a high ranking. I want to say he was like the damn near like assistant head coach on our team, and like he had a lot of interest across the league to be the head coach, but he ended up signing, I believe, as a Brooklyn Nets head coach. So he's out there, but really, really good offensive mind, and so we're losing him. I don't know if Mike Brown has replaced him yet. I haven't seen or heard anything. I'm definitely going to look into that after our pod is over, but I'm interested to see how he's going to replace him. So, he has some things to think about as far as the coaching staff, I believe. I think, Mike Brown is a very good coach. I wouldn't want to hire anybody else. I'm glad we extended it. But at the same time, I feel like, man, like we got to the scheme has to, there needs to be some adjustments in this scheme. And what I mean is, I feel like late in the season, like, he was trying to get guys going and try to see what he had on his bench. But these are some guys who weren't even playing. Like you were trying to get Sasha going late in the season. He was getting extended minutes. He wasn't playing during the season though. You know what I mean?
Right,
so it's like now you're expecting him to come in, and again, Monk was hurt, so you kind of had to look, okay, next man up, right? But I feel like guys like that, you should have got them going earlier in the season. Running some plays, because I don't think that we ever ran any sets for like size. Now I did like what Keon Ellis did. We found it, and I liked him. I said that last year too. I like Keon Ellis.
Yeah, you did.
I like Keon Ellis.
X factor for sure.
Yes.
Definitely.
So I keep him on the roster. Keep him, in the mix of what we got going on. But I'm very interested to see what Mike Brown's going to do, especially with his rotations, the scheme.
Yeah, you got definitely.